My presentation is on effective leadership in virtual organizations, leadership styles, communication, and emotional intelligence for psychology of contemporary and virtual organization. The learning objectives are virtuality, communication, virtual teams building, technology, emotional intelligence, leadership styles, and biblical perspectives of effective leadership in virtual organizations. Remote employees, they work from home or another location outside the office. Could be hybrid, telework, or global. These settings, they exist outside of physical presence. So within a digital connection, it can relate to communicating digitally when you're dealing with virtuality, but it's also within a real world condition. It influences leadership through communication, team building, technology, and emotional intelligence. Effective communication is the cornerstone of a strong relationship. That means any relationship. So even in a personal relationship, in a professional relationship, is just as important. And it requires active listening among leaders and followers. And leadership provide clear guidance in order to foster trust, social interaction, and aligns with the team, so they'll be able to promote feedback. Also, communication impacts leadership through open and honest communication. It helps it build trust. And it also boosts morale when leaders actively listen and provide feedback. And it strengthens conflict resolution. When there is an issue, they are able to communicate about that particular issue. Communication, it also encourages innovation through open dialogue, encouraging teams to share ideas, make riskier decisions, and to drive each other. Virtual team building is essential for fostering organizational support, individual engagement, and meaningful interaction among team members and the leader. As teams become more dispersed, intentional efforts should be taken in order to strengthen those connections and collaborations in order to maintain productivity and morale among employees. That is how the organization can better support the employees and leaders. They should encourage individual engagement and interactions among the team members. Because when you have a structured team building, they have a sense of belonging and motivation, which can help to improve job satisfaction. We want our team members to have strong emotional intelligence, pliability, self motivation, and cultural sensitivity. In digitally enhanced communication is via instant messages, chat, video conferencing, and also cloud-based platforms that help leaders manage teams across different time zones. In technology, it also can increase flexibility and accessibility. It allows the employer to feel like they're included in what's going on. And then we also have digital rapport, which means building digital rapport among team members. It maintains a strong connection, and we need technology in order to do that. And also technology, it links virtual teams so that they can communicate and build relationships, which is very important when you're working within a virtual setting and try to build a strong team, a virtual team. There have been implications that leaders they lack all or some of the emotional intelligence components, which helps with building relationships with your subordinates. And some components of those emotional intelligence includes emotional regulation, being able to control their emotions, their reactions, self-awareness, which is very important. Leaders should be able to know what's going on around them and understand their own emotions before they understand others. And then we also have interpersonal skills, which are just social skills, knowing how to build relationships, manage conflicts, and collaborate effectively with their subordinates. And we also have motivation. They have to have a strong drive to want to achieve their goals and go through those challenges and remain optimistic about the goal that they have to achieve. And then they also need to be able to provide empathy. They need to have the ability to understand and share their feelings with others. In order to foster meaningful relationships, they must also be effective communicators. And empathy, it will help to enhance their social awareness and interpersonal connections. There are many different leadership styles. Leadership styles, they shape virtual work environments through influence, which means the leaders, whatever leadership style that they assume, they should adapt their style to the challenges of the virtual work setting. So they have transformational leadership, they inspire employees. Servant leadership, they prioritize employees first. We also have transactional leadership, which focuses on goals, performance, and rewards. Authentic leaders, they like to build trust. Authentic leadership can be highly effective for virtual teams. They foster trust, transparency, and engagement in digital work environments. And since there's some virtual teams, they don't have any face-to-face interaction. Leaders who demonstrate integrity, candor, and a positive ethical atmosphere, they can create a strong sense of connection and motivation. They must have self-awareness, empathy, compassion, open communication, and sustainable success. Authentic leaders hold these types of um, characteristics. Wallace and Spurs, they suggest Greenleaf's servant leadership style is constantly growing in their professional and personal lives. They don't only use it at work, but they also are servants at home. Servant leaders, they emphasize service, empowerment, and teamwork. They build trust. They put others before themselves. They always stress in communication and collaboration. And that gives them the ability to improve their mentality. They always offer mentorship and guidance because they are there to serve. Transformational and also transactional leadership were developed by McGregor Burns in 1968. Even though they came from opposite approaches, they were supposed to complement each other. And so for transformational, they set high expectations to inspire motivation. They're visionary thinkers. They lead by example. And they're there to mentor and support the team. They are always looking for ways to improve their team and improve themselves. And they also like to challenge the team, all their team members, and they challenge themselves as well. So transitional leadership style, it complements transformational, but it also is positively related to digital leadership. In digital leadership, it improves performances through managerial uh, competencies. And it does this, for example, if a telecommunication company is operating in an industry 4.0, they record high growth because the management team was able to watch the production of their employees from their offices. So that's why it positively relates to digital leadership. And what transactional leaders do, they use incentives for reward and punishment. They follow a chain of command. They believe in hierarchy in order to report to the next person up. They identify clear objectives and they establish quantifiable goals that you can actually follow. And they thrive in a predictable and structured setting. And they also function by established guidelines, rules, procedures. And they also strive towards performance-driven outcomes. So your performance will dictate either your reward or your punishment. Spirituality, it allows biblical principles that should reflect the kingdom of God. Just as we worship God in spirit and truth in John 4:24, we should be able to connect virtually with others because God is a spirit and we have faith and we believe what He knows is real. So in virtuality, we are working in different places and we don't see each other physically. So we should be able to hold on to the principle of knowing that they're there and we can still connect no matter what. In virtual environments where direct supervision is minimal, biblical principles they emphasize integrity, wisdom, and building others up in order to communicate. These verses they highlight the importance of honesty, righteousness, and moral character in leadership and daily life. Integrity is a foundational principle in biblical principles, aligning well with servant and authentic leadership styles. It requires active listening and allowing others to feel heard. As Christians, we should always be mindful and intentional about what we say. Leaders should also show emotional awareness and empathy through interaction with followers. In these scriptures, they emphasize the importance of understanding emotions, showing compassion, and fostering meaningful relationships. And technology is a tool, it's morally neutral, but it should be used in a way to glorify God. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry about my voice. I have a terrible cold and flu for the last weeks or so, but thank you very much for watching. Next two slides, they're the references that I utilized.